poppin' people? Welcome back to Say Less with Kaz and Lowkey. My name is Kaz.
Yo, it's Lowkey. New Jersey right here. Howard University graduate, host of Apple Music hit show Hip Hop R&B Throwback every day, 8 to 10. And the co-host of this beautiful show right here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And obviously, we got the whole crew in here tonight, as always. We got Eddin behind the boards. We got Jake behind the bar, holding it down, as always. And today, our episode is sponsored by the good folks at Keeps. Lo, did you know that 2 out of 3 men by the age of 35 have male pattern baldness? I'm sure you knew that.
Are we? Is that it? Was that?
It wasn't a diss.
It was a dig.
I mean, it felt like
no, it was. But
I feel like that's not something you need to Google.
But that was a good reference.
I'm 33.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're in your 30s.
38.
38.
Yeah.
I didn't want to throw it out.
I don't care. I'm a beautiful black man.
You are beautiful.
38 years old. I'm here.
38. But like I said, 2 out of 3 men suffer from male pattern baldness by the age of 35, and obviously, anybody who wants to do something about it is better to be proactive than reactive.
Yes.
And the good folks at Keeps, they make sure you are proactive rather than reactive, man. Because if you, and obviously, I know some people they still feel a little weird, and you know what I mean. They're like, I don't know if I should call it.
Take it.
I don't want to go to no doctor. I don't want people to kind of know that I'm getting this taken care of. Like, listen, you're a man, okay? It's okay, men, to take care of yourselves cosmetically. It's okay to do the things that you need to do. To keep you sexy on.
Yes.
And if that means preserving that hairline, preserving that swag and that sexy when it comes to your hair, then I would suggest hitting up Keeps, because Keeps comes in a very discreet box, you know what I'm saying? Comes right to your house. And it's also a, you know what I mean, same product that is approved from the FDA, you know what I'm saying, is approved for this product right here. So like you can get the same thing elsewhere, but you for damn sure aren't paying it at this price. All right. So if you want to get some, go to keeps.com/sayless. Tell them Kaz and Lowkey sent you.
Listen.
Use that promo code, you know what I'm saying? Hashtag say less. And get your hairline swag back, man. Like, keep it before you lose it. Because
don't be me.
Don't be me. You want to look like that? No, just kidding.
Don't be me.
You don't need to come home yet, guys. Keeps is holding you down. So shout out to good folks at Keeps for sponsoring today's episode. Obviously, certain episodes are harder to record than others, and you know it's today's one of those days, and I hate that. If you've been listening to this podcast, all right, here's the thing. Here's what makes this so funny. I was sitting here thinking, like, damn, we gotta start another episode on a downer again, right? And there's a part of me, like, as a podcaster and as somebody who, you know, creates stuff for people to enjoy and be entertained by. It's like, damn, we don't want to keep hitting people with downers, and you know what I mean, having these certain episodes where it feels like they're more therapeutic for us, and we're not really thinking about the people listening. But if you've listened to this episode, if you listen to this show, what, since March, middle of March, how many times have we had to have one of these episodes? Since March. It's September right now. You know what I mean? Like George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, like the names just
keep piling up.
And one name that's been on the lips of everyone, I'm not just going to say black people, everyone.
News pundits.
Politicians.
Definitely
athletes. Definitely actors, ourselves. The name of Breonna Taylor. And anybody who's known the story of Breonna Taylor knew that the Louisville Police Department knocked on her door with a no-knock search warrant, looking for her boyfriend who wasn't even there. And instead of policing or doing the job that I feel like they're supposed to do, Breonna Taylor, who is a city worker, you know what I mean? Like, she's an essential worker. Like, she's somebody who, not to say like you gotta, and this is another thing we find ourselves doing. You almost kind of like preface somebody's life like they deserve to live. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, he's an essential worker. Like,
whether she was an essential worker or not, it doesn't matter.
Or not, it shouldn't even matter. It shouldn't fucking matter.
Right.
But here we are again. 6 shots ran through that house, killing Breonna Taylor.
16 shots ran through that. I believe it was more than 6 shots. 6 shots killed her.
6 shots hit her and killed her in her sleep while she was sleeping in her home after serving her city during the pandemic. Killed her in a home. Anybody that's within earshot of anything on TV or radio or podcast or whatever knows the name Breonna Taylor, knows the story. And the reason why a lot of us know this tale and know the story is because we know that things like this happen all the time.
Too often.
All the time.
Too often.
And the whole point in making sure people saw her name, I know people are going to listen to this and turn this on, and they saw the verdict that happened today, or the non-verdict, or the
decision. The decision by the grand,
that was made by
the decision by the grand jury.
And be like, well, here's another one. I mean, like, I don't think there's been a name more prominent throughout this entire awakening in America than Breonna Taylor's. I mean, George Floyd obviously kicked it off. I mean,
we saw that.
We saw that
on
that was, at least that was on camera.
We saw that.
You know what I mean?
Doesn't negate the fact that what happened to Breonna is no less or whatever, but
I mean, I mean, it's one of those things where we've seen that we know the way this justice system works, and knowing that these people are going to skid off. That's why if you saw anyone with any sort of platform, they said, say her name, Breonna Taylor, say her name, because we needed everybody to know what was going to happen. Like, if there was any justice served in this, it would have came as a shock and a surprise to all of us.
Clearly.
That's why the name was being said.
Well, they took 5 months to come to this bullshit conclusion.
Right.
Then they announced a couple. Well, not even that. We'll take it back. 5 months to come to this conclusion. What's his name? Daniel Cameron.
Whatever his name is.
The Attorney General of Kentucky. Daniel Cameron pops up at the Republican convention. Right? So stands next to that side of the party. Then the family is awarded $12 million. So some of us who actually understand how these things work,
right, for the wrongful death,
So now we're seeing that the plates are lined up for dinner, right? We're seeing where these are. So we got the settlement, which is $12 million.
Right.
Daniel's at the Republican convention.
Right.
5 months to come to this bullshit conclusion.
Right.
And then the day before they announced this conclusion, citywide curfew, boarding up all the stores downtown, cutting off downtown access.
They know the drill.
They literally
know the drill.
They walked us through this. If you were paying attention, they walked us through this process in front of the world and said, here's what's about to happen, but we're going to spoon feed it to you. And today,
as a surprise to no one,
wanton endangerment.
Well, I don't even know what wanton endangerment is. That a suit?
And I don't want to it's just like it's basically saying you got in trouble for being reckless.
Yeah.
At your job.
Yeah.
And
you damaged some walls. So
right.
Make sure the walls are taken care of.
There was more justice served to the neighboring families than there was to Breonna Taylor, who was killed.
There was more justice served to an adamant wall, an actual wall.
Right. So he got convicted of that one charge because he endangered another family, but there was no charge brought to this officer because of him actually killing someone in their own home who was no threat to society.
Right.
So now here we are, starting off another episode of Say Less with Kaz, trying to figure out the mindset, the mind state of America, specifically police departments all around the world. And the question on everyone's mind is, when is it going to stop? And when, if ever, is it going to change? And a lot of us are at loss of words, mental capacity, and just emotional endurance. And I can't sit here and tell you to specifically place your faith in optimism, foresight of like, it's going to change, it's going to get better, because a decision like this today does not have any bearing on that notion.
Right.
And I cannot get mad at anybody, whether you're in Cliffside Park here in New Jersey, Louisville, Kentucky, Los Angeles, California, South Side, West Side of Chicago, Newark, New Jersey. I can't tell you where to place your anger. Your anger is not misplaced.
Right.
And if you want to riot, if you want to protest, and I'm not encouraging the riot, but I cannot tell you to place your anger.
A riot is the language of the unheard when justice goes unheard.
I cannot tell you that your anger is misplaced because you feel as though that your voice or because the color of your skin is not recognized as equal, if not or better. And we have always been in this position from slavery to Emmett Till to the civil rights to now George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and the other countless names that go unnoticed because of we're darker than the status quo. So I would like to just tell my brothers and sisters, kings and queens, however you feel, you are justified. However you want to navigate this, you are justified. However you want to digest this information and the continuous belittlement of our character and our existence in and on this earth, you are justified. Don't let anyone, coworkers, family members, boyfriends, girlfriends, whoever the case is, tell you that you relax, you should calm down. Fuck all that. Mm-hmm. I get it and I understand it. Whatever it is you do, be safe, be smart, be vigilant, and be strong, because clearly we do not, and when I say we, I say black. There's no disrespect to we. This is a clear detrimental conclusion. Not that we didn't know it before, but now it's being spat in our face. We don't matter. So
I mean, it's not like
do as you must.
And that's the thing. Like, it wasn't even like you knew it was coming. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, you kind of hoped that things would change. And, you know, you heard that after what happened with George Floyd, and, you know, that's going to be another one in a few weeks or months. Like, when they come to the decision on that, like, we didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's saying we don't need police.
That's not the message.
Nobody is saying we don't need, you know, a system to enforce the law.
That's not the message.
What people are saying is that the force that was founded to protect those laws were originally enforced to endanger people that look like us. The police force was initially founded as slave catchers. You had to go catch slaves. You had to go and enforce those rules. Mm-hmm. And now, all the way out in 2020, about what, 400 years since slavery ended?
Yeah, it's about 400.
We're not even asking.
Well, like did Michael Chase said it the best.
Like, yo, we're just asking to we
Matter?
get it. We get it. Like a cop's job is hard. It shouldn't be. I mean, if you're hiring the right people and putting them in neighborhoods that they know and making sure that they're properly trained, it shouldn't be that hard. But it's a hard job.
Which is what Loon said.
I give him that.
Yeah, it's a difficult
All we're
position.
asking for is when you fuck up, like when most of us fuck up, justice is served somehow. We hope. How can you ask us to obey your laws, obey the way you govern this country, and not properly govern the forces you use to protect us, because it doesn't look like you're trying to protect us.
And you know what it is? To the other side that are not black and brown, that are watching this, and that might be one of these clips might go viral, or one of these, you might catch one of these clips, or whatever the case is. Just imagine if it was one of your friends, cousins, brothers, mothers, whatever the case. Imagine if a police officer kicked in the door, no warrant,
man, listen.
Free balling it. Imagine what that would feel like for your family. And then to see that city's council, that police department, that, attorney general read off a bullshit charge. Just imagine what that would feel like on your side of the fence. That's all.
People shouldn't have to imagine.
They shouldn't, but now the language has to go to that.
Because once this all popped off, once this all really started popping off in guess what, May, June, right before the summertime started, everyone was in agreement. This was bad. This was bad. This woman shouldn't have died. This was a horrible mistake. This was bad. The point was to open up everyone's eyes to see when you talk to your black friends and your people that especially black women, when they tell you they don't feel protected, when they tell you that they feel scared, when they feel maybe they're not being so paranoid, maybe they're not being so overzealous, maybe they don't feel like they're being out of their mind, because they're showing you exactly how the game is, right? What can you do in this country to be protected from a police force using too much force? What could you do? Could you have a bag of Skittles? Could you wear a hoodie? Could you be selling Lucy cigarettes? Could you be sleeping in your own house? Could you be going for a jog? Could you, what the fuck are you allowed to do? Because this is what we do. I'm going to bring you into our mind a little bit. When these things happen, most of us, I'm not going to say all of us, but most of us, just from the kindness of our hearts, because we still try to function in a way. I know I've done this a lot. You still try to function in a way where it's you got to have a talk. You got to talk to your kids. You got to talk to yourself. To be like, damn, how can I make sure now this situation doesn't happen to me? This is what you do at first. At first, you're like, all right, fuck. When you're driving a car, what happened the first time, we started seeing webcams of, people getting killed by the police? Like, all right, when somebody pulls you over, put your hands on the glove compartment, do da-da-da-da-da-da. All right, when you're outside and it's too late, make sure you don't wear a hoodie, make sure you wear a reflective. Okay, when you reach in for something, make sure you're not reaching too fast, make sure you show people that. How many things you got to do to talk to yourself to let you know how to move properly around armed forces, right? I'm getting to the point where I can't even act like what's happening in the world isn't normal anymore. I always felt and I watched a little bit of The Social Dilemma, and this is kind of playing into my psyche lately. But I've always tried to, we always, as human beings, we always have this innate ability to adapt and make ourselves find things a little bit more rationally than we should have, right? Just as human beings, as black humans, we have a different level of rationalization and adaptability that other races don't have. We're in the whole pandemic. You know what I'm saying? If you told motherfuckers 8 months ago, if you told motherfuckers in January, hey, in 3 months you're going to have to wear a mask, you can't stand next to each other, you can't go to a party, you can't do da. But yo, you fucking crazy. But we all adapted, right? As black men and women, if you would have told somebody 4 or 5 years ago, hey, like if you're driving around the car and you reach too quick for something in your glove compartment or your hand, they can shoot you and they're justified in doing it because they felt that their life is in danger. And as a police officer, there's laws here to protect them, to let them know that, hey, you're in the line of duty, anything can happen. And we as a force and a country need to protect those people that are serving us. So if you happen to die by accident, we're sorry, here's some money, but we really can't punish this guy. That's where we're at.
And unfortunately, black men and women have.
I mean, that's where we've been at. That's where we've been at.
That's exactly where I was going. Unfortunately, black men and women have conditioned their mind and their bodies and their souls to understand that when negativity happens to us, death, so on and so forth, it's our job to understand that we're just lower on the totem pole, and it's a fucking insanely disgusting concept to have to deal with. But it's just like,
I mean, this is why we go so hard for each other.
You have to,
because at every single turn you're reminded that, like, if I'm calling you king or queen and like bigging you up and like showing you love, because at every other step you're reminded that like your life don't really matter.
Like it's cute that you support and you love your friend and your brother.
We could do all this, organizing and doing all this type of stuff, but like when it comes down to it, like Black Lives Matter, the phrase, not the slick shit that white people do now, try to turn it into organization. Well, I believe Black Lives Matter, but like the actual organization I'm against because they get together and they destroy stuff and blah, 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 blah. Like that's the slick shit that they do now, right? Like they do the same shit that they did with Kaepernick. They take your original message and they be like, well, I agree with what you think, but the way you're going about it is that, that's not really.
So you're pretty much saying we got to wait 4, 5, 6 years later for niggas to understand, like, oh, that's what you meant. That's what you meant. Because now it's like Kaepernick did this in 2016, and the people that disagree with him 4 years ago are now saying, oh, you weren't standing against the flag. You were standing against the shit that we're talking about today.
Yeah.
The exact message that me and Kaz are talking about right now is the exact thing that Kaepernick was trying to articulate to a bunch of people who needed cultural counseling, and that you still need.
I don't even think it's cultural counseling. I just think at this point, I believe that like the entire system, that you can't overhaul a system. You can't vote people into a system that's broken. The shit's broken.
And like, the crazy part is that Attorney General Cameron or whatever Daniel is, he's in that seat until 2024.
Yeah.
He's in that seat till 2024, which is why it's very key. Yesterday was the National Registration, voter registration day. So yes, it's very important. I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's very, very important that it don't start at the executive, legislative, like all that. Nigga, city council.
Yeah.
City officials.
That's why voting matters, and
that's where it starts.
Even at this point, and granted, I don't want anybody to take away from the fact that I don't think voting matters, because I definitely think it does, and I think the way people look at it is a little different. I feel like the way people look at it, especially this election, I think way too many people are looking at it like, well, if we vote Trump out, all the problems will be solved. No, that's not the point, right? Like. We're too much, we're the hot take generation, okay? Like there's got to be winners and losers. So like if people feel like Trump wins, everything's great. People feel like Trump loses, everything's great. It's different sides of the same coin, right? When it comes to voting, it's exactly what you're talking about. There's going to be a situation like this in your city, in your state, in your county, in your borough, where the people that you vote in will eventually be empowered
to make these decisions.
And be empowered by the chief, the head of state, President of the United States. homeboy, the coon fucking DA from Tennessee. I mean, from Louisville.
Oh, Daniel?
Yeah. He was up at the RNC,
Chilling.
yucking it up.
Chilling.
Trump was calling him a star and shit.
Chilling.
Like,
that play with that was in play. That was in play.
Good for him. I hope it's worth it. I really hope it's worth it because
you being a puppet, I hope that was worth it.
I mean, I'm sure he's cool with it at this point. I'm sure he's gotten.
He's been greased off. And
I'm sure he's done the he's taken the equity and kind of like weighed the pros and cons of what he's doing.
Made his choice,
and it serves him best. If it has to degrade and destroy the spirits of like black women everywhere, he's in his mind made those pros and cons and said like, hey, I'm cool doing this.
I mean, he's also married to a white woman, so
well, there you go. There you go.
We're not gonna make it about that.
But I mean, it is what it is at this point.
And you know what's funny? It's interesting that he's funny like when during his, and I don't want to spend too much time. Like we've dug deep enough.
Yeah.
But it's funny that he mentioned that not letting celebrities, influencers, athletes, whatever, drive the narrative. And it was very key. It was very interesting that he said that because I believe he understands the power and the weight of those opinions. And I believe he understands. And he was like, oh, well, don't let them, mess up how we are here in Kentucky. Don't let them, dictate how we move as a people and as a family and respect thy neighbor. Well, clearly you don't respect thy neighbor because you killed thy neighbor.
Word. And don't forget this.
So let's not get all preachy and let's not turn this against like the celebrities as if they're out to get you, bro. You killed a civilian.
Yeah.
You didn't kill a celebrity.
They died under your watch.
Yeah, this is Kentucky.
Yeah.
So we're looking outside, looking in about how you're controlling your city and your state. So what does that say about you and your overlooking of your environment? So we're looking at you like, yo, that shit look crazy.
Yo,
it's not about
But like, here's the thing though. Like to him, justice was served. To him, he protected his police force. To him,
because they were justified.
Unfortunate that this lady died.
The tragedy, as he put it.
Our police force did the right thing, and
based on the facts.
Based on the facts, and don't let. It's just tiring, bro. Like we get like we're talking about this shit, and even like I'm catching myself. I'm just like,
I'm tired.
This shit is fucking tired. It's tired. Like every day,
but that's
every week. It's something.
That's just the. These are, and you've talked to me about this. These are the things. These are the pros and the cons of us having a platform.
Yeah.
Because we can't ignore the blatant disrespect that's being thrown in front of our face every day, and then for us to come here and be like, all right, Celtics and Heat,
talk some shit.
Yeah,
get some jokes off.
Yeah, like
you know what I mean.
We can do that, and we'll get to that.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, nigga, we tired. Like that's how I'm just looking at 2020. Nigga, I'm tired.
Like honestly, I saw the verdict. I saw not verdict, but I seen the make the announcement, and I already started feeling it yesterday or 2 days ago when they sent like the National Guard down and
like we knew it.
Got
we
ready
knew
for it. I'm like,
was.
man, you can set your watch to this, bro. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. It's just tiring. I'm tired.
Niggas said, let's give them a wonton endangerment.
I'm like, is that a soup? Wonton endangerment.
And I'm probably saying
I've never heard of that shit in my life.
I'm probably saying it wrong. And it was funny. I was following. I think Porsche, High Yellow.
Yeah,
she was breaking that shit down like brick for brick.
Yeah.
Like she was killing that shit. So that's why I was able to understand like what it meant and how all this stuff is going to unfold. So this is not the end all be all, because now the feds have to take on the case and do investigation. So just pay attention to what's going on. But it is frustrating. It's very disappointing. And to the black women, like, listen, I get it and I understand, and it fucking sucks because y'all are the most endangered species. If I don't like, it's just
I just want, you know what I mean? Like me and you both have, and I want to say this because I know it's extremely important to say it today. And we're going to keep this episode short and sweet because, to be honest, I ain't got it in me today. But I do want to make sure this note is said and heard. You and me, we've had incredible black women in our life.
Still have
incredible black women in our life.
Still do.
And I know a lot of y'all probably saw that. And I was raised by nothing but black women.
Yep.
They're already on guard. They already feel like, you know what I mean, this world's out to get them. And it's our job, you know what I mean? It's the first thing you're taught. Protect your women. Protect your black woman, your mother, your girlfriend, sister, fiance, wife.
Anybody. I got a 16-year-old niece.
Don't even got to be people related to you. Just protect them black women, period.
Right.
I just want to say that no matter what bullshit laws are in place, no matter what garbage rulings are laid out, no matter what this world tries to tell you and beat into your head, because that's the plan. The plan is to make you feel
you ain't it. You ain't
restless.
You ain't deserving.
Worthless. Yeah. Give up.
Right.
Don't, because we got you. Black men, real men everywhere, not just black men, but real men everywhere got you, black women. Real men everywhere will do our duty to protect our most natural and plentiful resource, which is the black woman.
And it's very clear that we have to do a better job.
Of course.
In addition to what Kaz just said.
Of course.
It's very clear, you know, even when I look in the mirror sometimes and it's like you got to kind of alter or step up or recognize or be patient or dive deeper. There's still a lot of work to be done.
There's always, the work's never done.
The work's never
done because look at what we're up against.
Yeah. So
you know what I mean?
So, you know, to my fellas out there, whomever is in your life, whether it be your girl, your wife, your sister, your mother, your niece, your grandmother, auntie, whatever the case is, you know, do the work. We can sit up here and go. Keep it short.
It's nonstop, man. It's nonstop.
Do the work. That's it. Just do the work.
Just know that, you know what I mean, like we're in it for the long haul. Like, I know people talking about, oh man, 2020, what a crazy year. Like, don't think shit's just gonna go back to normal on January 1st, 2021. Like,
it'd be nice if it could.
Oh, it'd be fantastic.
It'd be nice if it could.
How good would it be? Is if, like, once the ball dropped,
everything's like poof.
3, 2, 1, bing! All our masks fall off. Coronavirus is gone. You know what I mean?
Trump is out of office.
Trump is like,
has a stroke. Just croaks somewhere.
You know, it doesn't even die. Just like,
he just croaks. Like he just
gets like some sort of like debilitating condition where he loses the election and he has to just kind of be like a vegetable for like, and we just watch.
Like he just has like a fucking anxiety attack,
right?
And just laid up somewhere.
I'm not even that on that type of time. I don't even want him to die, bro. I just want him.
I want
him to live long enough to see how much he fuck this world up.
I want Donald Trump to have period cramps for a year. That's the pain because I know what that pain feels like. No, that growing up with sisters.
Do you?
No, like just like being being in the environment of like your sister, and then like when Sydney has her cramp, like that pain that they give you. I know like that's not comfortable.
I heard period cramp. The closest thing to period cramps are getting kicked in the nuts and that stomach ache.
That's what I want him. I want him to have that in addition to period cramps for a year.
I don't know who in the world could make that comparison. I don't know who could aptly be like, yes, it feels exactly like that. But from what I was told, like just from describing it with my fiance and other stuff, like I got hit in the nuts real hard one day at home, right? I forgot what happened. I think like a remote, like
I'm about to say like jazz, like she.
No. Like I
What the
think
fuck were y'all
like
doing?
something hit me in the balls. Like I think it was a broom.
Okay,
I think I
yeah.
did like some Sideshow Bob shit and like stepped on.
And just like you just like all the wind just left you. Yeah.
And she just laughed
because to them,
she laughed because like it's funny, but then I had to ask her. I'm like, what about this is funny? Like,
because it's the action of it and the sight of it.
Yeah.
Because when a woman gets their cycle or their period, it's not an action. It's like it's a gradual process that we see escalating.
Yes.
Right.
It's
So
part of life.
so if I kick you in your balls right now, it's a boom.
Right.
I know how that feels. It's like, look at this nigga, he's in pain.
Right.
By the second or third day, they're ready to kill.
But my thing is,
right?
And even that,
if I'm
that's
wrong,
why,
just let us know.
That's why. That's what makes it funny. Because like she asked me right after I got hit in the nuts, like, what does it feel like? I'm just like,
I would have hauled off on her.
When you get
like verbally, I would have been like,
you know what? No, this was an important talk. This is an important talk because I feel like women everywhere need to know like exactly what this feels and why it's just not funny all the time, right? Like when you get hit in the balls, it feels like your stomach is like filled up with like cement, and it feels like you could crap out your balls at any second.
It's almost like
it's like somebody knocked your balls into your stomach, into your digestive stomach, and now you have to hold on to it to keep it from falling out of your butt.
It's almost like
that's what it feels like.
I'll even say this. It's almost like when you're before you go to a birthday party and you have the balloon, right? And you're blowing that balloon up and you're blowing it up to the highest degree. And it's just filling up your stomach. And then you know how you always play with it? Like you can just like let it. That's what like, because like the air, it's just like you
it
can't. It
comes in waves.
So it's just like.
Yeah. Is that's
what that is. But I get why it's funny to women.
It's weird. It's like getting hit in the nuts. It's like there's like stages of it, right?
Yeah.
Like you get hit in the nuts, and
you crunch.
You get the realization. It's like, okay, for anyone can relate to this. Like when you stub your toe, at first you stub it, and you're like, in 5 seconds this is gonna hurt so bad, and even that thought
scares you.
Already begins the hurt. So like you get kicked in the nuts and you're like, oh my God, this is gonna hurt so bad. So there's already like the initial action and then like all the nerves.
Sometimes the anticipation is worse than the actual feeling.
Oh God. It just starts to creep and all of a sudden it is just pain city. It's like I wish I could explain it like even like I'd rather get kicked in the penis before I get kicked in the balls. Like the penis is tough. Like that's it's a
rod.
Like,
it's a hot rod.
Yeah, like women always.
I could take that.
Women always make the joke where it's like, oh my God, why do people call people pussy when pussies are super strong? They push out whole babies and yada yada yada. Cute joke. I get it.
Cute joke.
It's. If somebody like kicked you in like your urethra or whatever,
how would you feel?
It'll hurt because that's where I'm and correct me if I'm wrong. That's where a lot of I'm almost 1,000% wrong. But this is like where like the nerves and like the pain.
Well, if you're 1,000%, you don't have to explain it. Yeah, I think if you
doesn't matter.
Okay,
whatever.
Fine. Okay.
So it's like if you kick me in the penis, I'll be okay. Like it'll hurt, but it'll hurt like
kicking me
in the leg.
Honestly, I think that there's less less muscle in.
It's the sensitivity.
Yeah.
It's the sensitivity. It's everyone's weak spot. It's like
it's like when your shorty says we need to talk. That anticipation of getting kicked in the balls, that 5-second gap is like, what do we need to talk about? Then when you actually know what you need to talk about, that's when the pain comes in. It's like, fuck.
Here we go.
We found out.
Here we go. The sound when I get hit
in the balls? I don't think there isn't a sound.
There's no sound anymore. Like I used to. Now I'm a good.
Yeah, it's the breathe.
I try to like thug my way through it now. Like I try to like
it's the breathe in.
Yeah, like you gotta when you get hit when you get
because you know what's coming. You know what it is. It's like that's what that is.
Because you gotta embrace for it because you know what's coming in waves. You know that initial pain isn't it. Like it's like a roller coaster. It's like all right, we just got off the track.
How did we get to this topic?
Oh, we were talking about what we wish happened to Trump.
Because I'm like, where?
I don't know.
I mean, it's just
right.
Casual dumb shit.
So like I was saying, how lovely would it be as if on January 1st,
January 1st, and
everything just goes back to normal.
That's where it came. Oh yes, okay. So yes, we would like January 1st to go back to normal. Masks fall off. Everybody can
Somebody
go back.
finds a vaccine. Turns out, wow, guys. Breaking news, the coronavirus vaccine just happens to be like some magical rainwater that flies over the country this one time, this one day of the year, and everyone will be cured of COVID-19.
And then Donald Trump will have the feeling of getting kicked in his balls with an additional menstrual cycle for 7 days for the rest of the year.
Word.
That would be the best present on January 1st,
and then 3 hours later, like President Joe Biden's like, hey man, since we're gonna have this rain, we're gonna throw Coachella right now. And everybody's gonna and like all of a sudden concerts are back,
bro.
Festivals are back.
Every week it's Coachella, it's Bonnaroo, it's Made in America, it's Dreamville, it's every fucking festival that we've missed this year. And then all of a sudden, back to back.
Adam Silver pops up and is like, hey guys, the bubble's hereby closed. All arenas are back. Like, how beautiful would it be as soon as
Summer Jam's here, everything is just like back to normal. That would be our ideal beginning of January 1st, 2021.
But we know it's not going to happen.
That could all happen, and cops would still be killing black people. You just would have stuff to do.
Well, way to be a downer, Jake.
Yeah, damn, Jay.
God damn.
Damn, Jay.
Fuck, we were trying to lighten this shit up. Jesus.
Like, fuck.
I'm saying, what is normal? If you put the blame on Trump, then it takes the accountability from Hankinson or whatever his name is.
Jake, we were living in
I understand,
living in a
Jake.
Mythical world.
Listen, Jake.
I love it, Jake. I get it, Jake, but it's like, fuck, Jake.
Here's one thing you got to realize about being low, okay? Like, we can give you some honest talk, all right?
All right.
But at some point, we gotta laugh a little bit because
we gotta just dream for about 5 to 10 minutes.
If we don't get like a laugh or two off while we're like, going through the existential dread of waking up and being black every day and thinking about this shit and living through this shit every day,
my anger is going to be misplaced.
Yeah, and then like we'd have to beat you up first.
You're the only white,
you're the only white guy here, Jake. So like.
Which we'll never do. We love Jay. That's our brother.
I mean, I don't know.
He's dangling that line, brother.
Listen, if we gotta kill Tony Hawk when the race war pops off, Jake, you're
going first.
You could beat me up for a lot more than what I just said.
We love you, Jake. You're the best, bro. We're the best.
But listen, man. Today is just. We're depleted.
It's been a depleting day. It's been a depleting year.
We're trying. I mean, clearly, but we try to just come here. And some days we can go for 2 hours. Other days we can go for an hour and 10 minutes, for however long that we've gone. But
and I say all that to say this: the last time we had an episode like this was when
Chad?
we had Loon. Yeah, we had Loon come on and talk to us, and we called that episode "Self-Care" because. That's extremely important. Like this whole thing, publicizing these things, letting people know like, hey, even though you don't know this person, now she's a symbol. And we want everybody here to know that even if you get shot inside your house and even though it's our fault, your life still don't matter. Right? And so as a form of self-care, I'm telling everybody who's listening to this, like, don't feel bad about being aggressively selfish about taking care of your mental well-being throughout these times. This shit is not normal. This shit isn't normal. Like, this is not something that we're supposed to just be used to. Like, it happens a lot. You could even make the argument that the internet and social media have made it more prevalent and made you see it a lot more. Doesn't mean it should ever happen.
On a consistent basis.
It shouldn't happen at all.
Well, obviously, yeah.
So what I'm saying is our form of self-care is making sure we do this episode and getting the fuck out of here. Because we're humans. And as much as I love doing this, I love doing this shit. Like I'll spend hours doing work on one thing, and I look forward to coming here and doing this because it blows off steam. My therapy sometimes. I get to kick it with my best friends. I kick it with my homies. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, people enjoy what we do, what we talk about, what we say.
And the beautiful thing is we're going through this in real time. We're going through this with you guys. We're going through this just confused.
Yeah.
This is not, we have no game plan. When we
There's
came
no
in
blueprint for
here,
this.
when we came in here, we were all a little bit quiet and a little silent. He was working. I was a little tired, but still dealing with that shit that, we saw today. And I'm just trying to figure out the words and how do I say it. I don't want to be insensitive. I don't want to sound ignorant. I don't want to sound, X, Y, and Z. But, bro, we're figuring out these things as you are. So you watch it with us. Just know that we're on the same level as you guys, and we're trying to figure out it as well. We don't know where this country is going. Hopefully it goes to a better place come November 3rd, but we're in the same position. Lost, we're fucked up, we're confused, we're aggravated, we're frustrated, we're disappointed, but if we ain't got y'all, we ain't got nothing. If I ain't got Kaz, Eddin, Jake, then my girl, my brothers, my father, my sister, then I ain't got nothing. So go back home to your families, turn this off, take care of them, love on them. Tomorrow we fight another day. And hopefully it's better. So, Kaz,
Shit, I don't even know how much time we got on this. Probably like 40 minutes, but 40, 45.
I mean,
44.
unless you got something else, or unless you want to just keep it where it is.
I don't know, man. I feel like we can keep this train rolling on the tracks just a little bit more, just because I feel like
I'm here.
I feel like this is one of them days, man, and I feel like this is what people like from us. I feel like there's a certain level of humanity to this show.
Has to be.
There has to be a certain level of humanity to this show. Like, I can't just power through a 2-hour episode and laugh and joke with everybody. Like, shit's sweet.
We gave him our little jokes and our little giggles. We gave him that.
Jake ruined it. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah, we gave him what we had to, but this episode was just not gonna be one of those episodes.
Yeah, especially
given what
today,
what happened about 6 or 7 hours ago. If you're looking for that, just go back to the previous episode.
Yeah, we had some fun Monday.
Go back to that.
Listen. Black women, like, we will stand by you. We will fight for you. We will fight with you and alongside you, as long as there's lungs in our breath. I know today's a hard day. We're in for a long haul and a hard fight for a long time. And I really hope that you're taking care of yourselves. And I really hope that you are really making sure that your mental health is at a premium. And it's okay to feel fucked up right now. It's okay to feel unhappy. All those feelings are justified. But we do need you. And we can't do this without you. We know the fight for justice doesn't ever seem like it's ever going to come, but I know for damn sure we ain't going to get there without each other. So before you log back on Twitter or Instagram and kind of forget about this and sweep this under the rug and get back to the same old bullshit we do every week, which I'm sure we'll do again next week.
Mm-hmm.
Just take like a quick second before you say something or do something that may cause somebody a little bit of internal strife, right? We're all going through it. Like, this is unprecedented. We're all going through it. And I just want y'all to take care of each other, man. I know there wasn't a whole lot of jokes in this episode. I know it wasn't a whole lot of laughter. But I'm sure the audience that listens to this show will understand and appreciate that. And I didn't want to wait a week for y'all to hear from us. So I say this every episode, and I keep this as the tagline because I truly mean that shit. And this podcast, like the genesis of this entire show, which has been growing every single week. And I thank you all for subscribing. If this is your first time on YouTube or iTunes, Spotify, Google, SoundCloud, Amazon, wherever you listen to this, I appreciate you. I thank you. But I say this tagline because I really mean it, and got to stay free, stay safe, and always stay less. See you next week. Rest in peace, Breonna Taylor. Good night.